What is a good property management company? And maybe the deeper question is, what are you doing to run a good scalable company?
Yeah. Wow. Let's just go right there. So that is more often what I hear is realtors don't refer management companies, lenders, title, bankers. We do not have a great reputation in the industry. I've considered branding as an asset manager, not a property manager. Haven't gone that far yet, but we're pretty close. So you need to understand where property management came from. Great Depression hits. The banks take on properties. The banks aren't going to manage the properties. They're entering property managers. And for a while, I think things were fine. They had very consistent fees. They would charge 1 month's rent to place a tenant. They're usually going to be a department that's bolted onto a real estate brokerage. And then software comes out like 15, 20 years ago that allows entrepreneurs like myself to manage a ton of real estate from an accounting perspective, the books perspective. And we're like thinking that this is a really good business model, like how hard this could be. Maybe you owned a rental property or two, maybe you're a realtor and your clients want you to manage it and you don't know who to refer. And you're thinking there could be some residual income. And the challenge is that the software will help you with scaling the books and the work orders and things like that. But it still takes a lot of people to manage properties well. And the margins are higher in a good real estate cycle for the brokerage side. And then those that are really good at managing properties at a certain point, why wouldn't they want to just develop them themselves or own the real estate? They would get their depreciation, the appreciation, the cash flows, not just this. It's almost like an insurance policy is what we charge. You charge a % of the rent and you got to figure out. So what we discovered is that yes, to the public, I'm a property management company, but behind the scenes, we're a logistics company. And we need to understand a couple key metrics. Because if you were to ask me, well, how's the business running well? Or how's it running today? I would have to look at it almost like a bell curve. Like, what's the worst stuff that's going on right now on the high end or on the low end? And like, where is my averages? So when we look at metrics like economic occupancy, which are really reserved for like the larger multifamily players, where like you're really honing in on like you're coming up with your rental prices based upon square footage, and there's algorithms and all this, but you can do it on a smaller scale for somebody like myself that manages about 500 to 1,000 doors in each office, that has decent systems to train staff and retain staff. Economic occupancy allows you to like hone right in on the top line of the income statement, which is rental income. So that factors vacancy and collections. And then with that one equation, which would be market rent versus what you rented it for, then you deduct anything for collection. So $1,000 a month rental would bring in $12,000 a year. How much do we actually collect? Did we get $1,150 or $11,500? Did we get $12,000? Like, where did we end up? Did some maintenance go on and we lost the tenant? I've had that happen to me before. Sewer pipe broke on the same tenant's bed twice within 2 weeks, and we lost that tenant. And the economic occupancy for that one unit wasn't great that year. So if you can get the economic occupancy for the top line and then figure out some good metrics for the bottom line, like how fast can you get a unit turned from move out to move in? How quick are you, right? How quickly can you respond to tenants and measure those? My integrator can work with each of our offices and then drive those few metrics. I'm fortunate enough that I started with some real estate. I understand the pain of a vacancy. I understand the pain of a tenant not paying rent. And we haven't always been a very good management company. We expanded too fast. I was pretty early in GoBundance. It was like 2014. A lot of the Go Bros wanted to bolt on a rent well to their real estate brokerages. I wanted to say yes and figure it out later, and we can get into some of that, some things that we went through. So
The whole
Hopefully I was a little succinct.
Ready, fire, aim.
Aim, fire, and get ready up until the point that bullet's going to hit. Just keep getting ready for that next thing, right? Yep. But that's what we do, right? We build the plane as we're flying it, and that kind of thing. So I'm more passionate about property management now. I don't cringe when my phone rings. I manage a lot of my buddies' real estate. Before I'd be like, oh my God, I don't really want to answer this phone. So we're steady. We're in business a decade. We don't do brokerage, so we stay focused. And we also stopped marketing, and we track how often are our existing clients buying more real estate. And if they're buying more real estate, we're doing some things right. And if they're churning more outside of the macro level of what rental units are selling for, and accidental landlords selling their properties, if they're churning a little too much, then that's when we need to continue to tighten some things up. It's not the sexiest business. I don't recommend it for everybody. It's done well for myself and my family, my team. We like our services side. To get back to the software will help you out so much, but it'll tell you what plumbers available maybe, but like, do you even have them in your database? Like, what if they don't answer? Like it's still very people intensive. You know how to fix the leak, but did the property manager or maintenance coordinator think that also now the ceiling needs to get repaired? And hey, look, we got to get rid of that hot water heater that the vendor just set on the back porch because their van was too full. So like, you really need to see some things through. So that's one of the reasons we do landscaping in house.